Greetings, everyone. It is I, Marshall Bohemond, and in the latest non-reveal from Games Workshop, because it got leaked a couple months back from the printers, we have Codex Imperial Agents for 10th edition. Something that, felt kind of inevitable. Games Workshop just keeps releasing all them kill team kits with making rules for them in 40k with nowhere to really put them, so I guess it's a dumping ground codex. What more can I say about it? I was expecting a lot more from something like this when it was announced. Like it was going to be, like there would be some care put into the construction of it. Like obviously it was going to share things with other codexes. Like we expected that. That's how the Inquisition codexes worked back in 3rd edition. And generally speaking, I was expecting them to put a little more thought and care into how this would work. Like how they would put all these units together that you could use them as a viable army. Something that's actually competitive. But for now, let's just go over the announcement. There's a Codex Imperial Agents, and we won't watch this video. We'll get into the meat of what that shows in a second. But the basic idea is that it's the Index Imperial Agent stuff. They've taken that and they've thrown in the entire Deathwatch roster, Sisters of Battle, Sisters of Battle, their battle line unit, just the Battle Sister squad with Immolators and Rhinos, and Terminator, Grey Knight Terminators, and that's basically it. That's the Codex, or at least that's what they've announced. They haven't announced anything more. I don't really think there's going to be much else in here. They're keeping the assigned agents rule because that's what this is right here. This is the assigned agents rule. That's what it's called now. That's the old Imperial Agents rule. That lets you put like a certain number of units from this codex into other Imperium armies. When it comes to the stuff from other codexes, where I said, the Battle Sister squads with the Immolators and Rhinos, the Grey Knights. I believe it's just the Grey Knights. But the big takeaway, though, one of the big takeaways, though, is this has become the dumping ground for Deathwatch, for the Space Marine chapter. Let's zoom in on this, nice and close. The new codex, those familiar with the current rules will recognize the Assigned Agents Army rule, which allows a certain number of units from the book to be added to other Imperium armies. This roster has been expanded to help fill out your Ordozenos, Malleus, and Hereticus presence, with Deathwatch kill teams joining the retinue units. The new codex also features Watchmasters, Corvus Blackstars, and Watch Captain Artemis returning from the range after an absence, so you can include a full Deathwatch contingent in any Imperium army, complete with leaders, squads, and transports. Those with full Deathwatch Space Marine armies... That is my phone. I forgot to mute it. Please excuse me. I am recording this largely unfiltered. Shut the fuck up. Anyway, those with full Deathwatch Space Marine armies needn't worry. They can add the Deathwatch specific units to a Space Marine army of black-clad units like Intercessors and Terminators, melding the strong foundations and detachments of Codex Space Marines with themed specialists from Codex Imperial Agents. Whoop-de-doo. So, Codex Deathwatch is dead. That's the takeaway from this. Codex Deathwatch is dead. They have gotten rid of it. It is not a thing anymore. That is stupid. There is no reason to kill it, really. Because, the argument, well, there's not enough units. Okay. There's as many Deathwatch units as there are, say, Black Templar units. But we're going to get a Codex Black Templars. And I'll say this as a Black Templar fan. There are 1, 2, three. There are 5 total Black Templar special units I can think of off the top of my head. Sword Brethren, Crusaders, Primaris Crusaders, Emperor's Champion, Grimaldus, and Helbrecht. There's Deathwatch, meanwhile, has the Watchmaster, the Corvus Blackstar, Watch Captain Artemis, and the Deathwatch Veteran Kit. It's not much of a difference. There's no real reason to get rid of Deathwatch other than Games Workshop is lazy. That's really what it boils down to. Games Workshop is lazy. They just want to fold that codex into this one and be done with it. And they are not at all doing a good job right now of describing how Deathwatch will fold into this book, and how you will be able to play it with with your Deathwatch army, other than, oh, you can paint them black and put them in it. It's like, okay, how are the stratagems gonna how are the what do you call it? How are like the stratagems and the army rules gonna work? How are the how are you gonna handle how many Deathwatch you can include in a Space Marine army? Because you are effectively squatting people's armies right now. They need to know how this is gonna work. They've built their armies not just around the the veteran squads. They've built their armies around the what are they called? They've built their armies around the kill teams. How are the kill teams going to work? Where this is the information that's needed right now, Games Workshop, not this. Not this vagary that you're throwing out. And it's highly disappointing, and something that should be criticized and brought up to GW, because this is a failure. That is not opinion. That's objective. This is a failure. They need to do better by that. They need to clarify for Deathwatch players what they're doing going forward than just putting Deathwatch units in this codex. Like, for the people who actually play the army, how it's all going to integrate properly. Other than that, like I said, not really much to say. This is a dumping ground codex. There's going to be some detachment rules. Like, this is the Imperialis fleet detachment is the one that's not based around a specific ordo of the Inquisition. Each time an agent of the Imperium model makes an attack that because it eliminated all costs. Every time you make an attack from an Imperial of the agents of the Imperium model that targets a specific enemy unit, you add 1 to the hit roll. Acquired all costs is basically just a buff to leadership and objective control for standing on a certain objective. That's really it. They don't go over the ordo specific detachments in this. There's nothing really to say. There's Inquisitors, as HQs. I mean, they've been around for a while. They're probably going to be very generic. There'll probably be no customization, because that has been the thing going forward with Games Workshop in all of their games. Doing away with customization. But here's one of the big ones, and here's another big point. They're bringing back the character Torquemada Cortez. I'm probably butchering that pronunciation. I apologize, but they're bringing him back, new model. What do I even say about this? This is bad. This is not a good model. From a purely superficial standpoint, you could say this is an okay model. But what's disappointing about it is with all the new, the CAD tech, the CAD tech that GW uses to make models these days, that allows them, finer details, and how the plastic molding has improved to be much more finer detailed. and we've seen this on a lot of their other models, this is incredibly plain looking. There is, like, just from a design standpoint, when I first saw it, I made comments on it on Twitter. I thought it's okay. It's just the pose, because the pose is bad. Like okay, let's look at his older model. Let's look at his older model for comparison. This is his older model, and like, look at this is a very commanding pose, right? Like, look at this. It's a very commanding pose. Like this is a guy who is observing the battlefield and has absolute control over it. This is just, by comparison, this just feels like it's like they're trying to make him look like he's got swagger to him. You know, like, look at me. I'm the Inquisitor in the golden armor with the two-headed eagle. You know, it's like yeah, it's kind of a thing. Inquisitors in 40K, they got the look, right? They look like over the top and ostentatious, but that's cool and all, and that's necessary to the design. But that's not what you got to focus on for posing. What you got to focus on for posing is somebody who will, look you dead in the eye, and you will fear the idea of, like, even entertaining the thought of disagreeing with this guy, because he will, kill you, your family, your family's family, for crossing him. That's what you got to get across. That's what this pose gets across. That's what the old model gets across. And this new one doesn't have that. I also think separating the eagle out onto a separate model was completely unnecessary. Probably done to drive up the cost of the kit. They're probably going to build a rule around justifying that. Like, maybe you can move the eagle out onto the battlefield, but it really is, they're just trying to drive up the price of the kit by adding a second base, a second sprue, etc., etc. That's that design decision. But even to the point where, okay, but Inquisitor's supposed to have, like, the, they have to have that ostentatious look to them, Even saying that this model is a downgrade. I mean, like, look at how plain his armor looks, and now compare it to the old. This was a pewter kit when it came out. I had this model. This was a pewter kit when it came out, and then they turned it into fail cast resin. And just look at the details. Look at all the fine details by comparison. Like the cloth around one of his thighs, the book over here. You got the rosette. You got the belt buckle. You got the purity seals here, and then you got a tabard on him. Little, like, studs on the armor, stuff like that. It's a really, really well detailed, well designed model, especially considering the limits to the model making technology at the time that they had way back then. Now let's compare this. Look at this. They cleaned off all the detail. They smoothed it over. It looks so plain and boring now. Like I said, from a superficial level, it's an okay design. Like, it's okay, but this is not the, like, I don't mind they gave him hair. I don't mind they gave him hair because he used to be bald in the old model. I don't care about that at all. But just the rest, though, is just bad. It's just a bad model. It's a visual downgrade in terms of design and pose. It's because it was made overcomplicated, probably just to add more plastic to charge more for it. They probably want you to pay like $70 for it instead of like $50. So they added the Eagle model. It's not good. It's just not a good model. And then on top of all this, we got the battle boxes, and there's 3 of them. I'm going to zoom in on these. There's Ordo Xenos, Ordo Malleus, and Ordo Hereticus. The three major ordos of the Inquisition. And first of all, we need more info on the rules for these sub factions. You know, for their detachments. The GW's revealed nothing so far. So how well these might work together as units, we don't know, really. But I'm gonna make the take here immediately. The Ordo Xenos box set is awful. The box set is awful. This is a bad box. The most you could probably justify out of it is that you get 3 kill teams and a free vehicle. That's really it. That's really all. That's really the only thing. That's really the only way to justify getting this kit. I really don't know how to. Because like. Okay, so you've got in the back. You've got the. It's a weird combination too because there's like. This is the Rogue Trader model. This is the Rogue Trader HQ, and from what I gather, this is all one unit. This is an HQ unit. You've got the least popular Inquisitor model, Inquisitor Draxus, who, look, GW, you're never gonna make her popular. No one liked her in Psychic Awakening. No one likes her now. You're not going to make her popular. Putting her in the Ordo Xenos battle box is not going to help. You should have put Eisenhorn in there. I'm just saying. Eisenhorn is a popular figure, and he's an Ordo Xenos Inquisitor. But yeah, they put Draxus in the box. Nobody cares about Draxus. Don't know about like how they're gonna how any of these kits are gonna do. It's effectively 3 troops. I don't know which ones are battle line and which are not. We won't know that until the book comes out. But it's a Deathwatch kill team. It is a Inquisitorial Acolytes. It's the Rogue Trader Voidsman. Those are like the troops, air quotes. The Navigator here is probably going to be an HQ. Draxus is going to be an HQ, and so is the Rogue Trader back here. So that's 3 HQ units in this, assumedly. The Corvus Blackstar. It's all. I mean, its weapon loadout is all right. The problem is it's a flyer, and flyers aren't good in 10th edition. So, yeah. Yeah, this is not a good kit. If you want the kill teams, you buy this kit. Other than that, it's for mainline 40k. It's not good. It's not a good kit, and I don't see how they could make it good, even with new rules. This is the Ordo Malleus kit. Just so you know, there's going to be a through line through all of these of getting kill teams. Because all of these kits started as kill team kits. That's just going to be a thing going forward. But this is slightly better because you've got 2 Acolyte squads. You've got a Preacher. You've got a Culexus Assassin. You've got a Chimera, which, if it includes a Chimera, there might be hope they include, like, the ability to use Imperial Guard in this Codex. That would be great, honestly. I'm hoping for that. I'm not holding out for hope. It's a fool's hope. But I'm holding out hope. And yeah, Grey Knight Terminators. They're always good. Grey Knight Terminators are always good. They're and you've got the new Inquisitor, and you've got the new Torquemada Cotiez model. So yeah, this is a good box. It again, depending on how they make it all work in the Codex, we don't know if it's going to be actually tabletop viable, but there is potential with this one. And the last box is the Ordo Hereticus. This one's got Adeptus Arbites. It's got what I was literally just saying it. Right. It's got the acolytes. It's got a preacher. It's got like a, I think his name's Thaddeus is the name of this model, and it's got a battle sister squad and an immolator. This is again a much better than the Order of Xenos kit, and this is also a good way to outfit yourself with 3 different kill teams. So, plus it's got Inquisitor Greyfax. She's a fan favorite. Everyone likes Greyfax. And yeah, so this is again, it basically 3 kill teams and an immolator. That's kind of the theme with this. It's a bunch of kill teams in a free vehicle, and the Order of Xenos one, not looking good on 40k tabletop. Malleus and Hereticus looking okay, but rules are going to play a factor. Don't get hyped. Hold on, hold on to your expectations until we see the detachment rules for the Inquisition Ordos. And yeah, that's basically it. This is, until we know more about, the presence of, like, say, other factions in this, like Imperial Guard, like their potential to show up, maybe the return of using maybe using Tempestus Scions. They were teased in a recent thing. They might be have a presence in this as like a battle line unit. If they do things like that, if they add things like that, and the ability to use stuff from other codexes other than just the transports, then maybe this could work. I hope that's what they do, but they're not showing enough right now. So my expectations are low, and I really hate to say that because I was actually looking forward to this codex. So yeah, those are my rambling thoughts on the Imperial Agents Codex announcement. I will probably make more responses to this as new news comes out. Until then, this has been Marshall Beaumont. Take care, everyone, and have a good day.